Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God. That's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
If she has your DNA and it's in you, she's going to want to connect. And once she sees how magnificent and how powerful, and even this form that you did, this profound display of love, you know, in having this platform, I think it's going to blow her mind because, what you're doing here is not just selfish. You're using this situation to help other people find their way, and so even in that, where it's benefiting her, she'll be able to see this is part of her legacy. You're part of her legacy, but other people will be able to share in this and say, thank you, brother, because this podcast, this show saved my life.
Test 1, 2. 2. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now, all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call. To be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on the life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you. I had your life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success with me. But that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name. Now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas. Not knowing that them handcuffs custom made the face. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and no restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap. I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. Found the DC school, I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and that's not really fair. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. ISUPK until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga. Fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crowd, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail. Shit, I needed help. But Twan was locked up in the judge put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie, pop smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a danger. Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a danger. Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster.
Yeah. UPK shit, man. One West. Hey. I'm a UPK nigga, I'm stuck in my ways. That's on them, letting cowards fill up they ranks. Goddamn, lost tribes got them following waves. Loyalty a lifestyle, nigga, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'ma say, no, New Orleans is going up. Next spot, we at the B&B. I'm turned up, I pull up in the SRT. Burning rubber, hey, UPK shit. Look, met her at the club, told her pull up to the lobby. She know I'm in the coat, we're all black, no Illuminati. This my other half shit, I can't move without it. These my motherfucking brothers, yeah, what I'm gonna do without them, yeah. If it's beef, I can't wait to sink my teeth in. Niggas going overboard, they off the deep end. Why you tripping off that hoe? That's some weak shit. Told him put me in the game cause I love defense. Yeah, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Yeah, bounce on, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, and she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Hey, bounce on, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, and she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, I ain't gotta settle, I got options, ma. No, I stand on business, my name not Jazar. I'll pop you with this pocket rock. Feed a nigga shells like a taco truck. Hey, this bitch got sound effects. It go pew pew pew. I ain't tripping on no drink, got bottles in the room. I'm in Durham, North Carolina, bitch, it's 12 a.m. Look at them, they ain't none of us, and we ain't them. I told him, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Hey, bounce on, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog. Hey, she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Hey, bounce on, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog. Hey, she say she find me interesting. Want me to call, yeah. UPK shit, man, you already know what it is. It's the 55th annual Passover, man. Turn up. We gonna do this shit the UPK way, not the other way. You hear me? Yeah.
Backstage.
Yeah, I know what I'm telling.
I ain't finna tell you how I got away with this shit.
If I'm more right, that's good business. She look good, but hang with dumb bitches. Tell her I'm way too fly for one sister. And if she leave a priest, I won't miss her. Won't put a ring around it. Oh, no. Bitch, you for the street like basketball goes. I always knew she'd let that lane hit her. Won't get a cent from me, I ain't simple. Bitch, now I ain't gonna work it out. I ain't regular out. No, I ain't gonna work it out. I ain't regular out. You civilian out. Nah, failure out. I ain't gonna work it out. Cause I ain't regular out. I ain't regular out. You's a regular out. Took that bitch back. She done fed you out. Look how you living out. You look scary out. Can't fuck that bitch right. Cause she be getting nailed out. You don't forgive her, ain't it? You wanna love her, don't you? Just know that love ain't for you. It's for the world, homie. I got some real homies. We don't pretend, homie. ISUPK, 1 West, we kicking field goals. Let that bitch lead, ho. She got them D's, though. With a little steak and ass pussy, she be going beast mode. She HIV, ho. You a dirty ass skeet, ho. Don't get that shit up out your chest, bitch. Say what you gonna do now, what you gonna say now, what you gonna do to me? It is UPK, I'm shot too deep, it's better Google me. I put these girls all in my training camp like I relieve. I say what I do and I do what I say, bitch, what the fuck you mean? If I'm more right, that's good business. She look good, but hang with dumb bitches. Tell her I'm way too fly for one sister. And if she leave a preach, I won't miss her. Won't put a ring around it. Oh, no. Bitch, you for the street like basketball goes. I always knew she'd let that lane hit her. Won't get a cent from me, I ain't simple. Bitch, now I ain't gonna work it out. I ain't regular out. No, I ain't gonna work it out. I ain't regular out. You civilian out. Nah, failure out. I ain't gonna work it out. Cause I ain't regular out. I get paper, bro. Got my standards up. You a munchkin out. Catching these out. Check my favorite out. I'm a player out. These niggas top block. Taking lead out. You shouldn't be worried about these broke ass bitches. And don't compare yourself to simp ass niggas. Had to shine a lot of these disparate ass women. Cause they be tripping hard, acting like they different. But a bit be basic, bit be horn, and bit be naked. Thank you. faking, stankin', the shame is dirty, my bitch be faking. I don't get too fucks about you, I wouldn't have put no baby in it. Bitch be saying they got that paper, look, they let me in. Done caught the penalty, and my energy got me feeling me. Ice hitting on these diamond teeth that's into me. And I'm getting right, and I'm stacking up, and I'm getting to it. And these niggas hate, but they can't touch, cause I'm bulletproof. If for more, right, that's good business. She look good, but hang with dumb bitches. Till I'm way too fly for one sister. And then she leave a piece, I won't miss it. Gonna put a ring around it. Oh, no. Bitches for the street like basketball goes. I always knew she'd let that lane hit her. Won't get a cent from me, I ain't simple. Bitch, nah, I ain't gonna work it out. I ain't regular out. No, I ain't gonna work it out. I ain't regular out. You civilian out. Nah, failure out. I ain't gonna work it out. Cause I ain't regular out.
Goddamn, love them AIDS, damn dick, she love, nigga. Ain't no taking nothing back. Cause I ain't regular out.
All right, this is Rudy Speech, man. We got Captain Tywar in the building.
Yeah. Who's that?
Yeah, so Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Rudy Speech, man. Listen, I'll break it down right quick,
don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine, big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit coat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. These fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts. Very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak with a bin shot ya. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm big jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not inside of my conglomerate. Wreck like King Kong. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm through our pain that bring drama. Stay focused on things that bring commas. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect, pay homage. That I'm one West bred, one West bedded, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West bedded, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designing charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain of $150. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though. Cause them niggas getting fouled, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino. And the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a part, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West bedded, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West bedded, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West.
your flow ain't there, nigga, your rank ain't there, your stain ain't there, nigga, your whip ain't there, nigga, your rip ain't there, nigga.
Vince got some lean on these niggas. Matter of fact, nuclear thermal war on these motherfucker hating that nigga like the word big. Why? Tell him why. Your swag ain't there, nigga, them hoes ain't there. Your clothes ain't there, nigga, your flow ain't there. Your whip ain't there, nigga, your house ain't there. Your car ain't there, nigga, what the fuck is there, nigga, your lane. Shit. I say what's there, nigga, your lane right there, nigga, your hate right there, nigga, fake right there. Lame ass nigga in the game right there, nigga, pussy.
Try to tell these folks, talking about this shit, nigga, talking about these niggas ain't with that shit, nigga, really. You feel me? Nigga, when you be
Damn. I hate when a nigga be talking, they with it. Nigga be talking, they pull up with stitches. But nigga be talking, I pull up in stitches. They get in my top, they get in my mix. And I ain't gonna lie, that shit activate me swiftly. I wanna fuck kill nigga, I wanna fuck kill him. But I know I can't, cause I might be witness. I ain't fucking scared of nobody, I move by my body. I do what I do, and I do it so solid. These niggas be hating, they acting like bitches. I moving so private, I get it, I got it, I stack it up riches. Nigga be hating, but I'm on my cup fitted. I'm on my fishing, I'm fishing, I'm shining. I get it like this, I'm the man in the stars. Beast in the east, I'm the bitch in the west. Nigga be talking, but I am the best. But I see what they doing, but they ain't up next. And I'm keeping it home, keeping it stretch. Full stretch, feel like a patient. These niggas talking about, these niggas lazy. These niggas lame, these niggas crazy. Yeah, yeah, riding around. I had to beat me a nigga at 5. I did that shit for no name. Yeah, I had to do that shit just to survive. Niggas be acting like spies. It's me and my man, it's me and my guys. We always gonna pull up like flies. Cause that shit always be lying, okay? I'm all on my shit. They call me a boss, at least a 2G. I rap off the top. These niggas be lame, these niggas ain't hanging. Niggas ain't with us, these niggas so lame. So I'm holding the shit. Let them my time hang.
Let my time hang. You know what I'm talking, you know what I'm
talking. Swag ain't there, nigga, them hoes ain't there. Your clothes ain't there, nigga, your flow ain't there. Your whip ain't there, nigga, your house ain't there. Your car ain't there, nigga, what the fuck is there, nigga, your lane.
What the fuck you got, nigga? I say what's there, nigga, your lane right there, nigga, your hate right there, nigga, fake right there. Lame ass nigga, in the game right there, nigga, pussy. Yeah, acting too hard for a little change, nigga. Talk change that, nigga. Ain't got no wisdom, nigga. Talk like I got money. But we come take all that shit you think you got, nigga. Fuck, nigga. But we ain't gonna do that. We'll let you ball out. We see how that far get you. Pussy.
What the fuck is the ball for? Shit, point.
Hey, I don't give a lovely fuck about what them bitches gotta say. I'm a woman where's a nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't give a lovely fuck about what them niggas gotta say. I'm a woman where's a nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't care about what they say. Hey. Fuck with my Akim, fuck with my sisters, then I got a problem, I'm never gonna miss you. I got 100 hanging out the AR, I got a 50 hanging out the pistol. He say it's corner, I'm just being realistic. I be on them corner posted with the realest. If it's a Sabbath, then we going fishing. I'm reeling them in, that's a God-given mission. I'm really on timber, I'm stamped in the pistol. I get the order, be glad of this mission. Hebrew Academy graduate, niggas training, go through the baddest conditions. I fuck with none but the baddest of bitches. She righteous, submissive, she glad to be with me. Had that thing Putin like Vladimir, niggas, she know I'm a prophet, she glad to be listening. Disrespect, I ain't having that shit till I go make some business from scratch. See, bitch, in the different breed of black men. We don't do the back thing. I remember back when I was really trapping, trying to get the racks in, selling dope to black men. But now I'm trying to make it straight. Like, forget about my face. We sticking up straight, can't fold us. Too heavy, the world won't hold us. Don't get some rank, I told you. Line up in these ranks, we sold you. You can take that to the bank, we focus on. How many times must we remind you? One body, one way, some break. But never take up as a place. When the law with you ain't no up next. It's just us, nigga, that's that on that. All that weak shit, that ain't no threat. Say you won't beat, bitch, with that ain't no sweat. We with all that. The Lord called a nigga out the world. I responded and called back. Oh, Lord. And everything that they stole from us, fuck that shit. We want all that. Niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come on the command commanding general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine, that's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. That's why we unaffiliated with them. I cannot fuck around with fake niggas. We taking ground when we in your city. You better have the women, have the liquor. Keep that bitch on me, please don't but the system. Don't be a fool and be another victim. Say you a goon, you just another Christian. How you my brother, you ain't in here with me. In the gutter, deep down in the trenches. We with them niggas locked up in the prison. Fucking Hispanic, Native American, Indian, we ain't just talking shit. But we living in it, we be everywhere, you can't miss it. And we be fresh as hell, take a picture. And we professional now with the scriptures. Play, we gon' scratch them, yeah, we some killers. These niggas tripping, they mind blown. Well, business, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't get it pause when niggas say that they be looking for niggas to slide on. The slide that I know about is when I send with the gun with the slide for real. I get the order, you know that it's long. See me and my niggas gon' die for kill. The bigger the better for kingdom of heaven. You niggas get wet up by me cause I'm fed up. I rep UPK. My niggas won't let up. Got choppers, got nines, AKs, Berettas. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like bitch and whatever. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come on the commanding general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. See, they always ask us like, why y'all fuck with such and such? Why y'all won't come together with such and such? I be like, we unaffiliated with them. You understand me? Like, niggas be out here on some weirdo shit. And to be honest, that's why we unaffiliated with them. Hey. That's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. Oh.
Shalom. Am I on? The video up? All right. Let's go and get that video up. Can you get it up? Can you get the video up? All right, most of that correct. Clap it up. It up. All right. The ISUPK Atlanta Monday night history class. You understand? I am Officer of 1,000, Yahweh, and we this the ISUPK under Commander Junior Hanna, been since 1969. You understand? This is the day we teach we teach the history, put things in context for you so you know what's going on. You understand? Are you able to get that? You able to get that slideshow up? You go down to the bottom. See those buttons at the bottom, just above. You see it just down there? Wonder if it'll let me get in there. Let me see. See if I can get in there real quick. I mean, it probably won't let me because I got to be on there. Let me see. 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 Let me You gotta go down to the. You gotta go down. You don't see the buttons at the bottom. Where you add like a camera and all of that. Yeah, right over there. One of those buttons should be on there. What is it? What is it?
Slides and PDFs.
Slides and PDFs.
At the top, one of those options. Right there. Content one content.
All right. Now select the one I just sent you. You probably got to go to the files and get to the one I just sent you. All right. You got it on there? Huh?
I'll be the email.
No, I just sent it when I sent the file over to you. You hit accept. So it should already be in the files downloaded.
What was the title of the slide, sir?
Hold on.
Okay, you know how to do it? Content one content. All right, if I make some time.
All right, so lock here, everybody. I'm gonna get this in just a second. All right.
Right here on the slide, it says converted from the Palestine.
Should we say something about MLK or something? You might go to the files, go to the file browser and let you find it.
Slide of your computer.
Yeah, go to your computer. Hopefully, it should say something about MLK on there. Why they killed him, something like that. All right. Here you go down. All right. So basically, today's class, we talking about the story of Martin Luther King. We gonna talk about some things that most people don't necessarily know about when it comes to Martin Luther King. All right. Everybody thinks certain things such as, about his movement. He was trying to unite all white people and stuff like that together, which to a degree that was true, but then started seeing some revelations later on in his life before he was killed, which actually cost him his life. You understand? So y'all get that up yet? Y'all get it on there? I gotta go to where it says my computer, then I gotta go and find the file. And it's the same, you gotta scroll down. The ones that you can pick on there will be highlighted. The ones that's low will be like, lighter, be brighter in color. The ones that's lower in color you can't pick. Go back down there, like you said, go to slides. Go to slides and stuff. Now go down to the computer. Now scroll down on there. Look for something that says Martin Luther King.
Okay, why they killed him?
Yep, there you go. That's that. Click open. There we go. All right. I got it on there now. I sure know how to make a brother nervous, don't you? All right. Get into it. Anybody in on the thing yet? Anybody got any questions at all? Okay, salute. Let me see if I can see it. All right. Let's see here. All right. Okay. All right, cool. We got everybody in there. Did you put you put the link up there already? So you Tawab. So if anybody join it, you can add them into it. All right. Anybody join in? No, I don't like it. All right, then. Let's get to it. All right, pull. Let's it's still processing. All right, no sweat. Okay. Open up another browser for me. And go just put in Wikipedia and put in Martin Luther King just to get some, get some basic knowledge on Martin Luther King, and make sure you share that with them. All right, you know how to do that? Yeah, it's probably in the back. Yeah, go ahead. Hurry. Probably so. All right, Martin Luther King Jr. was born January 15, 1929. Right, he was an American civil rights activist and Baptist minister who was a leader of the civil rights movement from 1955 until his assassination in 1968. He advanced civil rights for people of color in the United States through the use of nonviolent resistance and civil disobedience against Jim Crow laws and other forms of legalized discrimination, which most commonly affected African Americans. All right. A black church leader, King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He oversaw 1955 Montgomery bus boycott and was the first president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, leading the unsuccessful Albany movement in Albany, Georgia, and helping organize nonviolent 1963 protests in Birmingham, Alabama. All right. King was one of the leaders in 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered "I Have the Dream" speech. So a lot of people, that it's a misnomer. A lot of people think that his last speech was his "I Have a Dream" speech, right? That was years before he died. It was like 5 years before he actually got killed. All right. And helped to organize 2 of the 3 Selma Montgomery marches. During the 1965 Selma voting rights movement, there were dramatic standoffs with segregation authorities, who often responded violently. The Civil Rights Movement achieved pivotal legislative gains in the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 65, and the Fair Housing Act of 68. Now, the fair housing came after he was killed. All right. So, just to give some little background, he was jailed several times. The FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover, who was a homosexual. He used to be what they call a transvestite. He used to like to dress up as women and stuff like that. He liked men that dressed up as women. Considered the king a radical and made him an object of COINTELPRO. From 63, FBI agents, from 1963, FBI agents investigated him for possible communist ties, spied on his personal life, and secretly recorded him. In 64, the FBI mailed King a threatened anonymous letter, which he interpreted as an attempt to make Kim commit suicide. King won the Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality through nonviolent resistance. In his final years, he expanded his focus to include opposition towards poverty and the Vietnam War. In 68, King was planning a national occupation of Washington, D.C. to be called the Poor People's Campaign when he was assassinated April 4th in Memphis, Tennessee. James Earl Ray was convicted of the assassination, though it remains the subject of conspiracy theories. King's death to riots in U.S. cities. Since his death led to riots in U.S. cities, King was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1977, the Congressional Gold Medal in 2003. Martin Luther King Day was established as holidays in cities in the states throughout the United States beginning in 1971. The federal holiday was first observed in 1986. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. was dedicated in 2011. All right. So, go to a brief thing. He was born Michael King Jr. A lot of people may not know that. So, that's why we got the name Orgy Mike, right? So, he was the second of 3 children. Let's see here. His father was a minister in rural Georgia, moved to Atlanta in 1893, became pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church in the following year. Williams married Jenny Celeste Parks. Michael Sr. was born to sharecroppers James Albert and Delia King of Stockbridge. He was likely of Mende, Sierra Leone descent. He enrolled in Morehouse College to study for entry into the ministry. Michael Sr. and Alberta began dating in 1920 and married on November 25th, 1926, until until Jenny's death in 41. The home was the second floor of Roberta's parents' home where King was born. Michael Jr. had an older sister, Christine King Ferris, and a younger brother, Alfred Daniel King. So he had siblings and all of that. So it's just a little bit to kind of go into his life, right? So he's growing up. Of course, he starts to, seeing different things. Things growing up, he starts seeing like the pressure. Of course, he probably seems to be he had a thing that he liked white women as well. So that's another story. So let me see here. Okay. Here'll go another little story. Martin Jr.'s father regularly used whippings to discipline his children, sometimes having them whip each other. Martin Sr. later remarked Martin Jr. was the most peculiar child whenever you whipped him. He'd stand there and the tears would run down. He'd never cry. Once, when Martin Jr. witnessed his brother A.D. emotionally upset his sister Christine, he took a telephone and knocked A.D. unconscious with it. When Martin Jr. and his brother were playing at their home, A.D. slid from a banister and hit Jenny, causing her to fall unresponsive. Martin Jr., believing her dead, blamed himself and attempted suicide by jumping from a second-story window, but rose from the ground after hearing that she was alive. So this is a little story. Martin King Jr. became friends with a white boy whose father owned a business across the street from his home. In September 1935, when the boys were about 6 years old, they started school. King had to attend a school for black children, Young Street Elementary School, while his playmate went to a separate school for white children only. Soon afterwards, the parents of the white boys stopped allowing King to play with their son, stating to him, "We are white and you are colored." When King relayed this to his parents, they talked with him about the history of slavery and racism in America, which King was later say that made him determined to hate every white person. His parents instructed him that it was his Christian duty to love everyone, right? So he wanted to hate them all, but him being a Christian made him so that he had to love everybody. See what I'm saying? So the rightful spirit you're supposed to have, you ain't supposed to like them either, right? Like being a Christian, that's how you know Christianity is really what white supremacy is, right? Martin King witnessed his father stand up against segregation and discrimination. Once, when stopped by a police officer referred to Martin Sr. as boy, Martin Sr. responded sharply that Martin Jr. was a boy, but he was a man. When Martin Jr.'s father took him to a shoe store in downtown Atlanta, the clerk told them that they needed to sit in the back. Martin Sr. refused, asserting, "We'll either buy shoes sitting here or we won't buy shoes at all." Before leaving the store with Martin Jr., he told Martin Jr. afterward, "I don't care how long I have to live with this system, I will never accept it." In 1936, Martin Sr. led hundreds of African Americans in a civil rights march to the city hall in Atlanta to protest voting rights discrimination. Martin Jr. later remarked that Martin Sr. was a real father to him. So, like I said, he had a strong father, but then they still it's like that Christianity, it just makes you into a weak person. You understand? Which ultimately is what causes you to be weak. This is what makes white people strong and black people weak. All right. So let me see here. Okay. Let me see. In his adolescence, he initially felt resentment against whites due to the racial humiliation that he, his family, and his neighbors often had to endure. In 1942, when King was 13, he became the youngest assistant manager of a newspaper delivery station for the Atlanta Journal. In that same year, King skipped the ninth grade and enrolled into Booker T. Washington High School, where he maintained a B+ average. High school was the only one in the city for African American students. Martin Jr. was brought up into a Baptist home. As he entered adolescence, he began to question the literalist teachings preached at his father's church. At the age of 13, he denied the bodily resurrection of Jesus during Sunday school. Martin Jr. said that he found himself unable to identify with the emotional displays from congregants who were frequent at his church. He died if he would ever attain personal satisfaction from religion. He later said at this point in his life, doubts began to spring forth unrelentingly. In high school, Martin King Jr. became known for his public speaking ability. With a voice that had grown into an orotund baritone, he joined the school's debate team. King continued to be most drawn to history and English, and chose English and sociology as his main subjects. King maintained an abundant vocabulary. However, he relied on his sister Christina to help him with spelling, while King assisted her with math. King also developed an interest in fashion, commonly wearing polished patent leather shoes and tweed suits, which gained him the nickname Tweed or Tweedy among his friends. He liked flirting with girls and dancing. His brother AD later remarked, he kept flitting from chick to chick, and I decided I couldn't keep up with him, especially since he was crazy about dances and just about the best jitterbug in town. So he liked to dance. He was always with women, right? Nothing wrong with that, right? In his junior year, he gave his first public speech during an oratorical contest. In his speech, he stated, Black America still wears chains. The finest Negroes at the mercy of the meanest white man. King was selected as the winner of the contest. On a ride home to Atlanta by bus, he and his teachers was ordered by the driver to stand so that the white passenger could sit. The driver of the bus called King a black son of a bee. King initially refused, but complied later after his teacher told him that he would be breaking the law if he did not. As all seats were occupied, he and his teacher were forced to stand the rest of the way to Atlanta. Or he had to stand all the rest of the way to Atlanta. Later, King wrote of the incident, that night will never leave my memory. It was the angriest I have ever been in my life. So he's seeing all this injustice, seeing how Black people are still treated, right? All these years, like you gotta think, this is 1944, right? What's going on at this time in 1944? Any of y'all know? Go ahead.
World War II.
There you go. World War II. That's what's going on in 1944. What's happening?
America is fighting for the Jewish people.
Germany. Yep. On the full World War, right? So Black people is fighting in these wars, right? Am I saying something different?
Nah, sir. The Harlem Hellfighters was in that mix.
There you go. I don't know all the terms, everybody, but I know Black people was out there fighting. They was in planes and everything. And what they have to come back to? That's World War I and World War II. Exactly. They had to come back on those buses, right? Them buses they had to go sit on the back of the bus. How you go and fight for somebody in another country, save them, and you still come back here and you still treat a second-class citizen when they was supposedly going to fight to liberate somebody else would be the second-class citizen. Think about the hypocrisy of America. Think about that for a second. They went there literally to fight because the so-called Jewish person, man or woman and child, was being discriminated against by a man called Adolf Hitler. He was being discriminated against, right? So they went and fought, died. People died in that war. They come back to be discriminated against by guess who? Jewish people, Germans, English, Scottish, Irish, Italian, all the nations of the so-called white man. Right. Be discriminated against by all of them.
Right.
So this is the hypocrisy that, here's the thing. King's philosophy of what he was doing was absolutely wrong. But for him being angry, it's the wisest he was right here. He was a damn child. What scripture say? What scripture say? Wisdom make oppression making a wise man mad. He was pissed the hell off. He said he never been angry before. Right? So that's why he decided he wanted to do something about this, right? Now, what he did was, he basically trying to make white people have a heart and have compassion. They're not capable of doing that. You understand? Can you possibly get one or two to do that? Possibly. But the grand scheme of white people, they don't have that. They don't have that, or they don't have that type of compassion. That's why they should be stripped away from having a leadership over the world. They don't know what compassion means.
Right.
Just think about how can you say this? Like even with us going to Venezuela, right? Do you understand the hypocritical that was going on right now? We come to the hypocrisy we going on. We was telling, different countries, you gotta, you can't go and take over they places, they countries or whatever for the benefit of you. And what did the American government go and do? Just would have snatched up the president of Venezuela, just whoop, came in the middle of the night, just snatched him up. He on a helicopter. He in some hole and probably somewhere in the middle of the country being slapped and drugged. You understand? For what? Because they wanted oil in Venezuela. See, America has oil, but they don't have the good oil that our refineries are made off of. They could possibly make the refinery so we could do the type of oil that we have, but they would have to repurpose everything. You understand? So, and we just went to Vietnam and just snatched them out so we could take over that whole country. We just did a whole like we just took over Venezuela. That's our country now. They gonna be like Vietnam, like how we did with Vietnam and Puerto Rico. They just like a state of the United States, but not really. They like second-class citizens of the United States. That's what you also probably want to do to Greenland. All right. So it's just who our oppressor is, man. They are trying to go after world domination. All right. Okay, he said the draft. Yeah. Okay. God. All right. So he's growing up. You know what I'm saying? He's growing up at this time. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. In the summer before King started at Morehouse, he boarded a train with his friend Emmett Weasel Proctor and a group of other Morehouse College students to work in Simsbury, Connecticut, at the tobacco farm of Coleman Brothers Tobacco. This was King's first trip to the integrated North. In a June 1944 letter to his father, King wrote about the differences that struggle. On our way here, we saw some things I never anticipated to see. After we passed Washington, there was no discrimination at all. The white people here are very nice. We go to any place we want and sit anywhere we want to. The farm had partnered with Morehouse College to allot their wages towards the university's tuition, housing, and fees. On weekdays, King and other students worked in the fields, picking tobacco from 7 a.m. to at least 5, enduring temperatures above 100 degrees. Turned roughly $4 a day. Sound like slavery to me. On Friday evenings, the students visited downtown Simsbury to get milkshakes and watch movies. And on Saturdays, they would travel to Hartford, Connecticut to see theater performances, shop, and eat in restaurants. On Sundays, they attended church services in Hartford at a church filled with white congregants. King wrote to his parents about this lack of segregation, relaying how he was amazed that they can go to one of the finest restaurants in Hartford and that Negroes and whites can go to the same church. He played freshman football there. The summer before his last year in Morehouse in 47, the 18-year-old King chose to enter the ministry. He would later credit the college's president, Baptist minister Benjamin Mays, with being his spiritual mentor. King had concluded that the church offered the most assuring way to answer an inner urge to serve humanity, and he made peace with the Baptist church as he believed he would be a rational minister with sermons that were a respectful force for ideas, even social protests. King graduated with Morehouse with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, and he did aged 1948, and he was 19. So this just going on a little bit about it, so we can kind of get like understanding of where he grew up as and all that. So now you see what's going on. He had that fury, like, you know, he wanted to do something, but then because he was able to go to Connecticut, what happened? Now he like, oh man, we got to go to the movies with white people, man. We got to go to, you know, I remember one time General Hyman, he brought up a class. He was in the class, he talked about that the real thing about Martin Luther King was he wanted to, because trying to see how you put it, but basically like in what, you know, at the movie theaters and all of that, black people would get the movies, but it'll be later. So say if the movie came out today, for instance, right, we might get it 3 months to a year from now, but the white movies, they got it right now. He wanted to make it so that the movies, he can get it now in Atlanta. He can enjoy this desegregation that's going on. This is what he wants, because how do I put it? He wants to be able to go to the nice things that America has. You get what I'm saying? He didn't appreciate the black things that America had. He liked the white stuff. He wanted to be able to go to the white places, not have the black people had to have had the black things. He just wanted, like I said, he just wanted to, like, you know how you got some brothers that they always want to have, they want to live amongst white people. They want to go to Ruth Chris. They want to go to all the fancy restaurants. They want to spend all the money there. They don't like going to black places and say it's too ghetto. This is Martin Luther King right here, right? And that's what he said. He said, I want to live to find the things. All right. So let's see here. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and go to this slide. So let's go ahead and go to the slide. Can y'all pull it up for me? I don't think we need to do too much more about Martin Luther King. All right. Get into it. So before we do, anybody got any questions at all? Anybody got any questions?
Likely, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kwame, I like the question in the comment.
You said about the draft? Yeah, I think I answered that. Okay. And the question, if I didn't answer it, let me know. Bring up your questions and make sure I answered everything. Yeah. All right. You got that? All right. Nobody else joined in? All right, let's go ahead and get to it. All right. Why they killed him, right? So let's go to the next slide for me. Here you go. Can you read that for me? You got the microphone? The microphone good?
The alliance that built the movement Shared Sacrifice, Black and Jewish Partnership. The bond between Black and Jewish communities defined the civil rights movement. Jewish leaders weren't just supporters, they were organizations like the American Jewish Congress and ADL provided critical legal support, funding, and organizational expertise. Activists like Andrew Goodman and Michael Sherner gave their lives alongside James Chaney in Mississippi.
Okay. So you see this, and y'all know the NAACP was financed by Jewish people, right? Do you know why Jewish people are doing this? Do you know why they supporting Martin Luther King? Anybody got an answer why? Anybody know why the Jewish people? That sound good because you see that they be like, oh man, he was supporting us, right?
I believe
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think they wanted to keep a close tab and making sure he wasn't waking up to his true identity and distracting him and forcing the Christianity and letting him know clearly that the Jewish people that claim to be Jews was the authority.
You're very on it. You just got one part, but you might have not put together everything on it. But you got about 75% of it. That's about 75%. Might say control on what they do or say, what they say. Yeah, that's an acquire. Yeah, that's part of that too. That's part of that too. All right. Now, y'all aren't wrong. I'm not saying that at all. Y'all are 100%. Y'all 100% on it. But I'm gonna give y'all. I'm gonna break it down to y'all so y'all really understand why they are here. All right. If y'all notice, Jewish people are represented in everything. Right. They want to get behind these movements because they want to get to keep tabs on you, know what you're doing, see what you're talking about, and all of this stuff like that, right? And then they know if they need to get rid of you or not. It's all these other things. So remember who made the CIA and OSS? Who was behind all of that? Jewish people. There you go. So that's part of them getting intel on everything. They like to gain them. They like to sell you the money so they get to own your friendship to a degree. They like to finance these things so then they own it. See, the one thing I like about it, about what like is going on with Charlie Kirk, about him being killed, is if you really pay attention to it, it shows you how they did Martin Luther King back in his time. You see the whole situation. He had Jewish donors, so did Martin Luther King. When he started saying things like, I don't know, they infiltrated his whole organization with different people. They would, he'll bring you, let one person come in, that person bring 10 more. It's like roaches. They bring one, he brings 10 more. You understand? Before you know it, you got infestation of them. They pretend like they're your friend, and before you know it, they turn your whole organization. And see what they do? They kill you. And then they get up on stages and on media, and then they try to switch your message into theirs. That's what we're going to show in this. We're going to see that he started changing his messages to a degree. He started getting more radical. The old Michael starting to come back. You know what I mean? Not Martin. And Martin was the other dude. Michael started coming back. And what happened? They killed him, of course, and they hijacked this whole movement. And then now it became for everybody. He was even starting to say, like, yo, no, this is something that's strictly for poor people here. It's about black people here. And he started seeing these things, dead. Right? Same thing with Charlie Kirk. He started seeing that Jewish people was doing all the stuff they were doing. Before you knew it, dead. Shot in the throat. See what I'm saying? And another part that he did, now I'm going to show y'all, he got killed because why do you think he got killed? MLK, why do you think he got killed? You might know why he got killed. Go ahead.
I could, sir. I believe he got unalive because he started to realize that his philosophy wasn't adding up. And like you said, he started speaking his own true mind and own true thoughts, and only started really speaking up against or speaking up for his people. Instead of it being
you right.
Also, like
you right. But what tipped it off to make it so that he had to be killed now was what the brother just said. Well, I mean, I think I gave him a little advance notice, but it's because of the war.
Oh yeah.
The Vietnam War is why he had to be executed right then and there. Had nothing to do with. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't have nothing to do with it, but that's where you know how people could be trying to like, you know, you can piss somebody off, but then once you do this one particular thing, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. Because they was probably thinking at one point they could control him. Once that happened, it was like, nah, it's they might have been like, you know what, just better just to get on here, get rid of him. All of a sudden, later on, he was dead. A year later, he was dead. So you start seeing these things here, but we're gonna get into it. All right. Let's go. Next slide. Go ahead.
Israel's strategic interests, geopolitical analysis from 1967 to 1969. The strategic pivot. While King marched for peace, Israel aligned itself with American military power. The 6-Day War, June 1967, occurred just 2 months after King's Beyond Vietnam speech. President Johnson's support cemented a partnership that required Israeli alignment with U.S. foreign policy.
What else happened during this time? If y'all remember, what happened last? I talked about it a couple of classes ago. What happened in the same 1967?
Talking dead pigs?
No, that was in 1960.
Was it let's see.
Remember? Nah, not no assassinations. Well, kinda, but not it was killings, but it wasn't assassination. 67. Kennedy got killed in 63. King got killed in 68, and so did RFK in 68. 67.
I don't know, sir.
No, not JFK. Somebody just said JFK. What happened in 67 was the USS Liberty. Remember I told you about that? When that ship, they had that spy ship that was in the over there kind of by Israel and Egypt in that area, and Israelis bombed it. So this is what's happening. All right. So I'm giving y'all this so y'all could get context of what's going on. This part of that was part of that war that Israel was in during this time. All right. That's why they attacked America, because they wanted to blame it on Egypt. So then we'll get into the war the same way with all the other wars. Remember how Pearl Harbor? Right. I'm gonna see if I can get more research on there, but you know that was something to get us into the war. They always wanted America to get into these wars so that we'll go and because we're like the differentiator. So if we get into the war, whoever is with us is pretty much going to win. You get what I'm saying? So they wanted us in the war. That's why they attacked us, so that they can make it look like Egypt did attacked our ship. They got rid of all the ships out of the area and then went and attacked us.
So you said Israel bombed America's ship in that land.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Try to make it seem like Egypt.
Yep. And we were supposed to go to war with Egypt, because if we go and destroy Egypt, then that would have been all land for Israel.
And where casualties taken on that attack?
On that ship, yeah. I had numbers on it. I had on the last class I did, I had numbers of that attack, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But at least I think about 30 people died, at least, when I'm mistaken. Mostly was a lot of injuries. A lot of people injured. But I think it was at least about, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was at least about 30 people dead, if I'm not mistaken. So they just attacked the ship, all of that. Johnson, the president, then to be Johnson, who was Jewish from his mother's side. That's what they consider Jewish anyway. They was trying to, it was like it came to a conversation of him or whatever, but he said, I'm not going to mess up the relationship between our greatest ally just over a couple sailors. Y'all hear this? So the agreement with a foreign country is worth more than the people that signed up to fight in your military that you drafted.
Comic-Con. That's why I asked that question. I'm like, okay, so America took casualties. And Israeli bombed them.
Yep.
Then at the same time, America and Israeli partner.
And that Israel, they didn't give none of that money. They didn't get no money back to themselves or nothing. They said it was they started saying it was an accident. America ended up having to pay a little bit. Israel didn't pay a dime. See the problem? They didn't pay a dime back to themselves. They should have paid restitution to themselves, right? Our goof, our mistake. You are ally too. So you see, Israel has never been an ally to the United States. Like Israel is like a pimp, and America's his hoe. You understand? They just take, and whenever something happen back, it's never expected to be nothing to be given back from anything that they've taken. There was times that America has given them like our fighter jets, right? The only thing that they would only take off certain information, like the software, and that's only because it's like pertinent to our. You got your software. If they get your software, you give them access to get into your network and everything. They would just take off the certain software so that they couldn't take over our they can get into our our databases or whatever for our military, right? And they were still mad about that. They want everything America has. Israel has done some really slimy things that nobody ever gets. They don't ever get accredited for. Nobody ever talks about it. But Israel has done some very slimy things. Y'all don't want me to get into 9/11. I might have to do 2 parts to that. But you just see some of the slimy things they've done. They made us get into all different types of wars just because of them and stuff like that. Remember why we was in Iraq was because Israel said that they found weapons of mass destruction. That's who said that. Weapons of mass destruction came from Israel. You understand?
And then there was no weapons of mass destruction.
Exactly. But we went there because they wanted us to go to Iraq. They didn't send no damn body. They sent all of our people to die. Right? And I don't care about white people. Let them die. That's their country. They die for it. I'm talking about the black and Hispanics that went there and died for them wars. For what? For a country that thinks of you as less of anything, you want to go die for them. You want to go die for them. All right. Let's get back into it. I'm about to have a camp speaking out here. Let's get back into class. It's a lot here.
Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir publicly congratulated President Nixon on his Vietnamization speech in 1969.
Okay, somebody wants to get into the thing. Can you let them in? You know how to let them in? Okay. Somebody want to get in. Keep an eye on that in case somebody want to get in. They get them in real quick. All right. Shalom on Christ. Who was that?
Shalom, what's going on, Ottawa? It's Truby
Hey, Shalom on Christ. How you doing, Truby? To what? Okay. All right, let's get to it.
Calculation. The geopolitical trade-off war was clear. Israel needed American weapons, Phantoms, and Skyhawks, funding and UN Security Council vetoes, supporting the Vietnam War, or at least not opposing it, was the price of admission to the American alliance.
Go ahead.
The internal conflict. This created a deep fracture. Many Jewish civil rights activists opposed the war, but the Israeli government's survival strategy depended on the very military machine King was attacking. King's anti-war stance wasn't just a domestic issue, it threatened a critical international alliance.
Whenever Israel involved and you do something against them, somehow or another, death just finds your way. Am I making this up? Y'all remember the Muslim cat, Khalid Muhammad? What he started doing? Blazing on Jewish people, right? All of a sudden, he had a brain aneurysm. I don't know. I'm not necessarily talking about conspiracy. I just saying I recognize patterns. That's all I'm saying. I recognize patterns. I don't know what killed him. I don't know if that's what really happened. But all I know is whoever you start opposing, making them look stupid and making them look crazy and making them look like they off out of sorts, all of a sudden they end up dead. Just telling what it is. End up dead some type of way. JFK, he was going after Israel. What happened? Bullet to the dome. All right. All right. So you see this right here. The Jewish people may not have wanted the war for whatever reason, but Israelis was like, the Israeli government like, nah, F that. F that. Nah, we need this war. We need these weapons. Because what happens, like, y'all know what happens when wars are fought, right? Y'all know what happens when wars are fought?
People die. Sir.
Yes, that's true. But I'm talking about the logistics of it.
Yes, sir. A lot of resources that whoever wins that war, whatever country wins that war, they take over their resources.
That's true too. I think the brother online has something. You have something, your core?
Sir, I was just gonna say it's about the spoils, about what they can take or what they can trade in agreement to stop the war.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that y'all are wrong, but I'm exercising y'all thoughts of thinking more like them. Okay. So it's not that y'all are wrong, y'all are right. Okay. I just want y'all to get deeper into the process of thinking of it. You get me?
Okay.
So go ahead.
Their sides chosen, alliances made up.
There's one thing I understand. There are no permanent alliances with different countries. There's only permanent interests. So what you're interested in, there's only permanent interest. There are no permanent friends.
Yeah, like the U.S. is more interested in the oil, so they went and took over Venezuela.
Yeah, and Venezuela's supposed to be a friend.
Right.
So there are no permanent friends.
Right.
But I'm gonna break this down to why they like these. See, when a war started, here's what happens. Y'all know, and just think, because you're like, this is more our time about the Iraqi war, right? Iraq war, right? What happened? They spent so much money. They spent a ton of money, didn't they? And they don't all the time have that money, correct?
Right.
So what they got to do? They got to go take loans from the different banks, the international banks. But all they really doing, they ain't really giving you the money. They just send the money from one side to another side, and then you go pay it. All the money still come right back to them anyway, and they charge the country interest. So they get more in debt. It causes more inflation. So here the whole thing is, all they doing is just switching around money. They ain't going nowhere. They still keeping the money, but they charge the country interest, the first part, okay? It starts to kick off a machine what they call the military industrial complex and starts kicking that off. But what happens is they waste so much money. They waste a ton of money, tons of it. Okay, they'll pay $1,000 for like a light bulb. Crazy amounts of money that's being spent, right? All these monies go back into these contractors, but a lot of them are Jewish owned. They don't tell you about that. So they take this money, funnel it back to their own causes again. It's a way to steal United States money twice. That's the first thing, right? Then when things happen in war, what's left? Weapons, right?
Right.
Women and children. Okay. What now? Y'all gonna think what you want with that, right? It's cheaper to just leave the weapons there and order more weapons than it is to have somebody pick up these weapons. So that leaves smaller splinter agencies, or whatever you want to call it, to go pick up these weapons. Now they get to arm they governments out. They pick up these weapons and they'll go give it to a country, another place, to try to arm their troops so they can go and fight a war against who they want to get rid of, another country they want to get rid of. Okay? They use the women and the children to barter with pedophiles to like leaders and all of that, because a lot of these leaders are disgusting, just going to say the least. So they'll give these women, drug them up, give them to dignitaries and all this to get to broker agreements that they want with them. They use women and children for this. They get an endless supply of women and children from that. So that's where all of this human trafficking and human smuggling, that's where all these people come from. That's because it's the wars that's going on. They like doing this because just how you remember what a concubine is. It's when her father, her brother have been killed in the war. It's just a damsel left. You can take her, you can make her your concubine, was a lesser wife. It's that same, not that, you got more respect for a concubine than they doing, obviously. But that's just to give you the same like concept of what's going on. They take these things and different agencies like CIA or Mossad or other agencies, the other different countries, they take these women and children and they barter against other leaders to get they things that they want from them. Because a lot of them, like I said, is perverts. Let's just be honest. So it's disgusting. But this is another part of that. And then too, when those weapons come, they gotta ship it. They don't want, like, it's better almost to give weapons away than to put your troops on the ground. Because now you got to pay for the weapons and the troops. Right. It's easier just to give the weapons to another country. So now that country has those weapons. That's why they like the war, because when the war starts, you get a big innovation in technology, and Israel always gets it firsthand. And that's what they want. Plus, it allows it's so multi-pronged, it's so hard. Then also with the wars and stuff happen, they get to put in legislation. Like when the Iraq War is like the greatest tail sign. They got the Freedom Act, whatever it was, where they basically can spy on you no matter what, no matter what the situation is, NSA can spy on you. They got a chance to get in legislation. So of course they gonna get that information routed over to Israel some type of way. And now they got more ways to spy on people and Americans here. When they already was doing it through another company, in the name will come to me. They were spying on dignitaries at the time of 9/11. They already had the company. It's crazy, man. Go ahead. You have something? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So heavy that you should bring up, probably, with the children and the women.
Mm-hmm.
Because, but it's like one of the most famous ones, from my understanding, that's what happened to what's happening to that Chanel, with everybody running around talking about, oh yeah, Chanel No. 5 perfume and all that. They took her name, they used her name because it sounded good and it sounded marketable, but they said she was being used. That's what she was being used for, a pass around.
Okay. Somebody just said, okay, check it in. It's like the price of aluminum and silver goes up when everybody go to war. There's another part of it. A lot of times Jewish people are brokers in that too. So it's a multi-pronged approach. You can find different ways that they benefit from it, but they are the primary benefactors of all of the stuff. They always benefit from all of these wars. That's why they always like for us to be in a war all of the time. Just never ending. I think it was even a president that said it. I can't remember his name. It is. Y'all can look it up. If y'all don't mind, y'all can look it up for me. There was a president that said if you make war profitable, we always will be in war. Which essentially what happened. They made war profitable. So we always in a war, some type of way. We always some type of conflict. All right, let's go to the next slide. Yes, I'm not sure to say, Mouse, or you too out?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, because that sounds like when you read the history of World War I, that's what happened in Germany. They squeezed everything out of Germany. All around the country, when Germany lost World War I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened to Germany.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing. They was losing. They was losing the shirt off their back. They didn't have nothing, man. It was terrible. Them people, the Germans, were living a very disgust. They basically put them in. They made Germany to like a third world country almost. Right. Germany was like where it was the white version of where the flies be on the Africans' faces. Like it was like that. It was bad. You know what I'm saying? Not, of course, I'm exaggerating. They still had civilization to some degree, but it was their version of it. It was bad. They said a price of bread was like a billion francs. That's how much they money. It was their money wasn't worth nothing. Right. And that was part of the Treaty of Versailles when they did that, which is why Hitler got rise up in power because he was fighting against that. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's keep reading on here.
The first cracks appeared. Millions of dollars can be spent every day to hold troops in South Vietnam, and our country cannot protect the rights of Negroes in Selma.
In one city. Go ahead. That's August 29 down on the back left.
August 29, 1965. On the face of the nation, King declares that a minister, he has a prophetic function, quote unquote, and must, quote unquote, continue to take a stand on this issue. The transformation has begun.
There you go. Escalation report.
You got the escalation report from 1965. Starting at February 1965, you had Operation Rolling Thunder begins. That's like the bombardment, right? Where the Air Force comes in and starts to bomb.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay, then 1965, the U.S. combat troops land. So then they cleared it out with the bombs, and then they got boots on the ground now. Then December 1965, 184,300 troops in Vietnam. Cost billions diverted from poverty.
So instead of focusing on poverty and what's going on in America, they sent it all to go to Vietnam. I tell you something, right? Which a war we didn't really ever win.
Right.
Which I'm gonna tell y'all something I forgot to put in here. Y'all wonder why all the drugs came in the 75 and 80s. Y'all know where all the drugs came from?
Vietnam.
Well, not quite. Probably partially, but I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more on it. Go ahead.
They're finding the drugs in the like bodies of the soldiers in the casket.
Say one more time.
They were all the soldiers that was killed in Vietnam. They was putting drugs in either in the caskets or in the bodies.
Yeah, I heard they was doing that too. But yeah, that was part of it. But then another thing was in order to get those, they wanted to go. I think it was in Laos, and it was a country right inside it. You know, you could go into a country. You want to take like say if you want to go into I can't remember exactly, but say you wanted to go. Say Mexico wanted to go attack Canada. They got to make friends with America to get into Canada because it lets us. We could put them on our border, right? It was Laos. They was trying to go, and they had. I think their biggest thing was heroin. So what they had to do was they had to buy heroin or whatever the drugs was from them, in order to get access to there. So what they do is they go get them drugs. They got to go sell them somewhere. Who they sell them to? Right back to America. They go to the drug dealers here in America, and they sell it to the drug dealers. And that's how they get their money back, and they get money for black operations. All right. What you about to say?
Was it Cambodia they had to go through to get the Laos, or Laos to get the Cambodia? Something?
I think it was Laos. I can't remember exactly. It was a while back when I watched that.
Oh God.
Wherever the Golden Triangle.
Probably.
Right.
Somebody outside. All right. All right. Go to the next one. Yeah, next one. All right.
All right. The moral crisis deepens.
Uh-huh.
Transform non-conformist. Ebenezer Baptist Church, January 16, 1966. King voices clear opposition, describing American aggression as a violation of the Geneva Accord. This isn't just policy, it's a moral indictment. The question haunting King, how can he preach nonviolence to young black activists while his government uses massive violence in Vietnam? His commitment to nonviolence as a universal principle is forcing him toward a confrontation with the state. Escalation by the end of 1966, 385,300 troops on the ground in Vietnam. Challenge, quote unquote. Dr. King, you tell us not to use violence, but why doesn't the government listen to you? Why can't they drop bombs on Vietnamese villages, but we can't defend ourselves?
Mm-hmm. That was the thing. America using violence everywhere they go, destroying everything. He said, "Why we can't have no? We got to do nonviolence." You understand? Why they just bombed the hell out of Vietnam, dropping napalm on Vietnamese. All right. Let's go ahead. Next one.
The breaking point, the casualties of the war in Vietnam, February 1966. King delivers his most forceful anti-war speech yet. He stresses the history of the conflict and openly campaigns against the Johnson administration, his former ally on civil rights.
So now he went against the anti-war speech. He started teaching anti-war. So Johnson, who helped them to sign all of those, the civil rights stuff. As long as you're gonna be a good nigga, it's all good. But when you start talking about white man money, all of us say you a bad nigga now. All right? Go ahead.
His conscience leaves him no choice. He has seen the photographs of the napalm children and heard the stories from black soldiers.
So somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody showed them pictures that happened in Vietnam and all the napalm and all the destruction that was going on. He said he started bawling. His eyes started just bawling from what happened. So even though he was a nasty person, he at least had a compassion to see what happened to other people. That's why the white man should never be over the whole world. Because how even this Orgy Mike, who we call, right?
Right.
Who we call MLK, right? Even him in his sickness, he like, yo, we shouldn't be killing Vietnamese for no damn reason. Just for whatever. So, and they still was like, nah, you can see the difference. The white man said, nah, we need to kill him. And he's saying, for what? Like, what are we doing? Like, even if we go and take over the military, they killing civilians. They're not killing just like military, just like we're doing in the war right now. They killing the Palestinians. They just killing women and children. That's not part of what you supposed to do. That's not the Geneva Code, what they were talking about. You only supposed to kill and destroy military installations. They destroying cities and villages. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep going.
His conscience leaves him no choice. He has seen the photographs of Napalm Tribune and heard the story from Black soldiers. Like, quote unquote, American power should be harnessed to service of peace and human beings, not an inhumane power unleashed against defenseless people. Quote.
So he was saying that we got all this power, we should do peace, which even JFK was saying we shouldn't be using our imperialism, which is our military might. We should just be good competitors with the world and offer the best product, best product or service, and then let everybody else pick who they want to deal with. That's what JFK said. This is like verbatim out of his mouth. What happened to him? Shot in the head, right? Let's go to the immediate backlash.
Come. The immediate backlash. Civil rights leaders warn he is hurting the movement. White liberals who supported civil rights turn cold.
Go ahead.
The Johnson White House is furious. King becomes, quote unquote, persona non grata, quote unquote. Media begins questioning his judgment and stability.
See how they do? Now, just how they did with Kanye. When Kanye started getting a little bit of knowing that we the true Jews, now the nigga crazy. They start judging your stability, start saying that you unstable now. See how all the same stuff work all the damn time? And start saying you crazy when you start talking about the truth.
Right.
Now, what's wrong with him? He done lost his mind. All right. Let's go ahead. Beyond Vietnam. Next slide.
April 4th, 1967, Riverside Church, New York location. Beyond Vietnam, time to break silence.
Yep.
Exactly 1 year before his assassination, King delivered his most controversial speech to over 3,000 people. He crossed a line from which there was no return. Quote unquote, I could never again raise my voice against the violence of the oppressed in the ghettos without having his first spoken clearly to the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today, my own government.
He got killed exactly the next year, right? They picked the same day on purpose, right? That wasn't done on accident. They wanted it to be known that that's why they killed him. It was because his stuff is killed. His now separation from going with the Vietnam War to being against the Vietnam War. They wanted to show this why you did. They wanted, like, they do little things like that to show you this is why we killed you. So, like, everybody else may have not known, but the people in the circle was like, damn, it's the same day he did that speech. They know, so you shut up and follow suit. Otherwise, you're gonna end up the same way. All right. Another, well, I'll probably get into it later. Probably get into that later. We got 30 more minutes. Let's keep going.
The turning point, King realized he could not segregate his moral concerns. To fight for civil rights at home, he had to oppose, quote unquote, deadly Western arrogance abroad. Quote unquote, my conscience leaves me no other choice.
All right, next slide.
One moment. Okay. The radical critique. The giant triplets. Racism, extreme materialism, military. Quote unquote, we must rapidly begin the shift from a thing-oriented society to a person-oriented society. When machines and computers, profit motives, and property rights are considered more important than the people, the giant triplets are incapable of being conquered, quote unquote. A radical revolution of value.
So he said the racism, extreme materialism. You look at the racism, what's going on. They're still racist today. I know people try to act like they're not. Oh no, they still are. Extreme materialism. We got people you thinking about things and things you want to own, cars, clothes, all these things before you focus on your own people, right? And militarism. You want to think of you had a thing. You notice how like when white people when they see the military, they see the jets, they got oh man, America, right? Militarism. You start thinking about the military. You start thinking of like you see white people, they'll see jets, they'll think of that means their freedom. No, that's not for your freedom, it's the oppression of other people's freedom. Nobody's coming to America to attack America, right? Nobody's coming to do that. Nobody's doing that right now. I'm not saying it won't ever happen. I'm saying to this day and age, nobody has came and tried to attack America, right? Nobody has, right? At least not in a military form. You understand? Haven't done in the military. We're not worried about that. We have sea on both sides. That's why they made sure they bought the western side because they wanted to have control over both sides of the country. You understand?
Both sides of the country or both sides of the earth?
No, the country. Because if like America only owned up to before, they bought California, another country can buy California, put militaries there, and that would get them a straight access from another place to go over the Pacific Ocean, and they could come in and attack America. So that's why they said it's better for us to own both sides. Because that's why they bought both of them.
Is that why they got like a SEAL team in Virginia, like on the East Coast, and they got one SEAL team on the West Coast, so they can go like different directions?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why they do this. So they can be quicker to get to either side. They got to do one in Asia. Boom, they were closer there. They got to do one in Africa, Europe, or wherever. Both sides, just like that. All right. Next slide. Oh no, I ain't gonna have you read. I don't know how good your eyes is, but mine, nah.
So
you can just read the highlights on the Washington Post and the verdict down at the bottom.
Media turns against him.
Mm-hmm.
Him being Martin Luther King.
Yep.
Okay, April.
AKA Orgy Mike, they went against him.
Orgy Mike. They went to Orgy.
Mm-hmm.
1967 of April, the Washington Post, quote unquote, King has diminished his usefulness to his cause, to his country, and to his people, quote unquote, from the Washington Post. And then Life magazine, quote unquote, called the speech demagogic slander that sounded like a script for a radio announcer. The verdict, 168 major newspapers condemned him the day after his speech. The liberal establishment that cheered "I Have a Dream" now declared him a pariah. 168 news outlets.
You know what I'm saying? One day, because he went against Vietnam. You understand how all this works?
Come on, God.
The CIA owns part of the newspaper. All the military industrial complex. I'm not saying like they're not owned by like necessarily the same people, but what they'll do is they'll buy high amounts of stocks in each company. So then they get to have control over who and what happens. So they don't own it. Well, they kind of do, but they don't. You're not going to go and look on Wikipedia and say the same person that owns the Washington Post owns such and such. You're not going to see that. They just own stocks in every company. So when you have a majority stock in that country, you almost to a degree, you're like in the C-suite. You're like you have the board of directors and all that. You're like a board of director to a degree when you own like the high stock, the people that own the high amount of stock in the company. So they made, when he did that speech, they made them all turn against him. So now he got blasted on this. So now you see why it's imminent, why he gets killed. We thought it was because he got killed because of civil rights. He was trying to fight for black people. That's what we thought, right? That's how they put it up. No, he got killed because he was going against the Vietnam War. He said he's he's diminished his usefulness. Talking about kids and children and women not being killed in Vietnam. He's diminished his usefulness. White man, the devil, man. So go ahead, next one.
All right. The establishment abandons King. Whitney Young, Urban League, quote unquote. Dr. King has done a separate issues, quote unquote.
No, he's done a disservice here.
Okay, I see what's going on. Slide. Okay, Dr. King has done, I don't know what they said, to the Negro people.
A disservice.
And our war separate issues.
Yep. So he said civil rights and the war are separate issues. Then that's right, but because he couldn't talk, what he was saying is he had a conflict in his mind, right? His conflict, how he's talking about, you know, civil liberties when he's in a country that's, you know, destroying everybody else's civil liberties. All right. Next one.
Ralph Bunche, a UN diplomat, he should give up his role as a civil rights leader if he insists on these views.
So you don't give up. He can't be a civil rights leader no more, all right? Because he don't believe that, you know, the murder they was doing to Vietnamese, right? I'll read that last part.
This is President Lyndon B. Johnson, quote unquote. What is that goddamn preacher doing to me? We gave him the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We gave him the Voting Rights of 1965. We gave him the War on Poverty. What more does he want? Quote unquote. Lyndon B. Johnson, the president.
See what I mean? So with that being said, you see, he gave him all these things. Now he's saying, now they, you know what they did? You know why he's feeling this way, right? They feeling as though they bought they was thinking they bought his you know, his allegiance. It's like it was for purchase. Because what they do is, because you know, the FBI had, you know, they had the tapes on them, right? They had all the tapes on them. They bought all the tapes, they had the tapes on, so they knew he was immoral to a degree because he was doing all this, sleeping with the white girls, having the orgies, he was doing all this stuff. So they saying, okay, we'll stop all of this. We won't tell nobody about this, but you follow suit and we pay you this, which is what they do anyway. This is why they want all the surveillance on everybody, so they can see what you do behind closed doors. They see what you do, and then they go and say, well, you know, we won't tell nobody, but you just take this money. See what I'm saying? Which they, to a degree, was doing with him. Oh, let's take it, Salakia. Okay, so that's how that's done. All right, the transformation. Go to the next one.
Transformation. I have a dream, quote unquote, to radical critique. Started in 1963, the reformer focused on segregation and voting rights. Embraced by Northern liberals, spoke of the quote unquote American dream. And quote unquote, it says, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, quote unquote, to be continued. Fast forward to 1967, the revolutionary attacked capitalism and poverty, condemned U.S. imperialism. And then at the bottom it says, quote unquote, something is wrong with capitalism. There must be a better distribution of wealth, and maybe America must move toward a democratic socialism.
There you go. Now go to the next one. I'll try to run through these real quick.
All right, Muhammad Ali refuses the draft. 1828, 1828, 1967, Houston, Texas. At the induction center in Houston, Muhammad Ali's name was called 3 times. 3 times he refused to step forward. Like King, Ali connected the war abroad to the struggle at home. He refused to fight for a country that treated black people as second-class citizens. Quote unquote, my conscience won't let me go shoot my brother. No Viet Cong ever called me nigga. Quote unquote.
Right?
He in consequence strike the title.
So they took his title from him.
Come on.
Because he didn't want to go get drafted. He refused to get drafted. They took his counsel. I mean, his title, and they took all of that for him. Hit the next one.
Come on, sir. Ali's sacrifice and vindication. Clay versus United States. Exhibit A press coverage. The price paid from 1967 to 1970. Quote unquote guilty. Stripped of heavyweight title immediately. Banned from boxing for 3.5 years during his prime, sentenced to 5 years in prison and $10,000 fine. The vindication, 1971, quote unquote, overturned, Most High in Christ. Supreme Court rules 8-0 in Ali's favor. Conviction overturned to procedural grounds. Returns to regain the title. The rumble in the jungle, quote unquote. I am not going to help murder and kill and burn other people to simply help continue the domination of white slave masters over the darker people over the world.
Go ahead. Let's try to get through this. See the next one.
All right, from 1967 to 1968, King's final year. Poor People's Campaign, the objective, shift focus from race to class. Unite poor whites, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to demand an economic bill of rights. The tactic, massive civil disobedience, build a shanty town, resurrection city, quote unquote, in Washington, D.C., and occupy the National Mall until demands are met. The demand, $30 billion annual anti-poverty package, guaranteed jobs and income for all Americans, threat level critical. FBI surveillance intensifies, quote unquote, King is the most dangerous Negro in America.
So he was trying to unite white people, the poor, to fight against the powers that be, right? The elites, right? So he said he the most dangerous Negro in the world right now. He had to get rid of him, right? He getting us out this war. He wanted to turn the shift. Everybody want us to fight against a war that we just made up. You know what I'm saying? He made up out of nowhere. He just made up this war that we didn't have to fight. So we just got into this war. He uniting all the people, all the poor people to come up against us. You know, to come up against the powers, against the war structure, and do a whole restructuring of everything. So they're spending so much money into the war because you don't even understand how much money we spend. Like, let's do a quick Google search. How much money does America spend on war?
I would say $81 billion.
No, we don't find out on war and you taking wages? 50 push-up. Make it 12. In 2024, the U.S. spent about $874 billion on national defense.
874. I said 81 billion.
He was a little off. Times that by 10. 10 next day. They say 10 next day. Crazy. All right, let's go to this assassin. Let's try to get through assassination.
All right. The assassination. April 4th, 1968. Around 6:01 p.m. Breaking news, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has been shot and killed by a sniper's bullets while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Hotel. The haunting symmetry. King was murdered exactly 1 year to the day after delivering his Beyond Vietnam speech.
Nobody find that suspicious.
Salakia.
Nobody find that suspicious. He get killed the same day. It was all set up, right? Give it a mic.
You know how on the movies where they have like somebody going up to make a speech and they have somebody going to assassinate them, and they always say they need to murder them before they give that speech. That kind of reminds me of that. What is that movie?
I think I've seen that before too. Yeah.
Like with Cameron and or Nas and them. What's the movie? Belly.
Yeah.
They're trying to assassinate him. You know that, and they're saying he cannot give this speech.
Yep. And then what they do after that, though, they go in and hijack his legacy and start saying all this other stuff and go back into the "I Have a Dream" days. That's why the only speech you ever heard of was "I Have a Dream." He wrote that in 1963. This is 4 years before that. He changed his tune later on, but the only thing people ever heard of is "I Have a Dream" speech. They never don't know about the other side of him, right? They hijack his legacy. They do that with everybody. They tell you all they just hijack and they start getting on news channels or saying King, he was not for this type of thing. They try to guilt you into something that he wasn't really about. They do that with everybody, and you can just see it. Like I say, the hell with Charlie Kirk, but you see it in the way that he is. Him and that bastard Ben Shapiro was enemies, but now he's going on acting like they was the best of damn friends. They couldn't stand each other. So you just start looking. They hijacked his stuff just like they hijacked Martin Luther King's. It's just they do the same moves over and over again. You just start, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I recognize patterns. All right. Let's go to the next one. Now look at this weird escape. This don't even make sense. Go ahead.
A suspicious escape. This is the FBI files number 492. The impossible journey. Okay. So time mark April 4th, 1968. Location Memphis, Tennessee. Assassination escapes in white Mustang. April 8th, 1968. Toronto, Canada obtains passport under alias, quote unquote, Raymond George Snade, quote unquote. And then May the 6th, 1968, from London to Lisbon, which is in Portugal, if I'm not mistaken, right? Lisbon.
I don't know, but it ain't in America. It ain't over here. It's in Europe somewhere. It ain't here. I ain't never been there.
From London to Lisbon, flies internationally, moves between safe houses.
Yep.
So then you got his profile is James Earl Ray, alias Eric Galtz. History, he has a history of petty theft and robbery. His profile was low IQ and incompetent. So it seems like he's making all these moves and low IQ. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Exactly.
Here's the Toronto, the London, the Lisbon. Okay, so like it. The unanswered question: how did a broke, small-time criminal with no foreign language skills manage to obtain multiple fraudulent passports and navigate international travel for 2 months without no help? That's what I was just saying.
How does that make sense? How that make sense?
He got Israel behind him to make these moves. He's just a little mule.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a puppet on a string.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Go to the next one.
All right. The King's family's fight for truth, unprecedented. In a stunning turn of history, the family of the victim became the strongest defenders of the accused assassin. Correct. Scott King.
He ain't do it. That made no sense. He ain't do it. It's that simple. He ain't do it.
Also, like it's
No, say he ain't do it. Just like Oswald ain't killed JFK. He didn't. Neither one of them did. And if you go into deeper to the files they releasing, They know that they didn't. They just stick with that, and that's a magic bullet. Where the magic bullet went through 3 people and came out like it ain't been touched. All of a sudden you listen to Kirk, he got shot in the neck with a 30-06. It ain't go through his neck. That don't even make sense. That bullet about this big, about that thick, being shot through a cannon. It didn't go through your neck, which is like the weakest part of your body. Nothing but cartilage. And it wedged itself in his neck. Don't even make sense. Right? Yep. So you got that you dealing with these magic bullets. So it all, you know what I'm saying? This is all, none of it makes sense. But go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and try to finish this up. It's already 8:53. So I think we got quite a few left. We probably gonna be able to hit them all. But go ahead.
Earl Ray was a pawn in a larger conspiracy. Scroll down to prison meeting in March of 1997. Dexter King, quote unquote. I just want to ask you for the record. Did you kill my father, quote unquote? James Earl Ray, in response, quote unquote, no, I didn't. Dexter King, quote unquote, I believe you, and my family believes you. The family just didn't want Ray free. They wanted a trial to force the government to reveal the evidence of the conspiracy they believe killed Dr. King.
Yeah. And that's somebody that's been researching it for years. He's come to the conclusion the person that killed them was a cop like a corrupt cop, of course. And he was involved. He was in Memphis, whatever. I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Strasser. That's what he said. That's who really killed him. He said he was training the day before at the range, shooting the same gun, the same type of gun that killed Martin Luther King, the same bullet. He was training with that same gun. He was the best shot that they had. And there's other things too. I've watched it and I've verified a lot of it, but it wasn't James or Ray. Let's just be a fact. It's one thing. The one thing I give you that's even been proven. The way they said he shot through this, like through the, I think it was a hotel or whatever it was, and shot him over there, whatever, with the visual that would shoot him at, there was a tree literally blocking the line of sight. They said that day, and all of a sudden the next day, that tree limb was removed. And that's proven. I don't recall, but like when like the line of sight from where they said James Earl Ray was and where King was, there was a tree limb or a tree branch or something regarding a tree was in the path. You wouldn't be able to make that shot because the tree was blocking it. So the next day, the tree was mysteriously removed. And that's proven. There's something that's been proven. That's not like these are truths. Now, if you want to add your own spin to it, that's what you doing speculation. But truths are truths. That was a tree in the way. He couldn't have made that shot. That was on a report. And all of a sudden, the tree was gone the next day. You got to remember, J. Edgar Hoover, there'd be a person that'd be over this investigation. He hated King. You know what I'm saying? You got a question, sis? Okay, yeah. She heard the hair like she was. So, you too wild. But yeah. So it's like these are things that are truth. There's a lot of things that people said that people saw when he left out of there. They saw the person that really shot him. He had his gun and everything. They seen him go through like a restaurant or something. I can't remember exactly, but they got all these things on record. They just didn't pursue it because Hoover didn't like King, right? CIA didn't like King. And then all you got to do is just force people not to investigate it, and it won't ever get investigated. And then they come out with the news media and say everybody else is you crazy, just like they were saying here, you lost your mind, you unstable, right? They do the same thing. And then since they have such a monopoly on the media, they can force people to say what they want them to say. And they might not own all the news media, but they own the key news medias. and they just print out whatever they want. It's somebody they just get a message, just say this, and everybody say the same thing. So let's go ahead. Anybody good? Everybody got questions? Everybody to what? All right, let's go ahead.
Why the jury says conspiracy. Exhibit A crime scene, official verdict form. Number one, did Lloyd Jowers participate in a conspiracy to do harm to Dr. Martin Luther King? The answer was yes. Number two, do you also find that others, including, I can't see the blank.
Governmental agencies. Governmental agencies
were parties to this conspiracy? Mark, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Conspiracy proven, quote unquote. This is a case of the King family versus Jowers in Shelby County Circuit Court, Tennessee of 1999. Quote unquote, we have done what we can to reveal the truth. The jury was clearly convinced by the extensive evidence that it's like the evidence that was presented during this trial. Coretta Scott King.
There you go. Unquote. All right, next one.
All right, why they killed him, the motive, internal memo, system threat assessment, economic threat, demanding a $30 million redistribution of wealth, challenging the capitalist structure itself. The military threat, turning the masses against the Vietnam War, threatening the military industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, the political threat, uniting poor whites and blacks, a coalition that could overturn the political order.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So King in 1968, no longer just a civil rights leader, quote unquote. He just didn't want to integrate the burning house. He wanted to rebuild it from the foundation up. That made him the most dangerous man in America.
So what you want to do, you want to destroy everything. You want to destroy the imperial powers. You want to destroy the old money that's been just people been making all of the rules to everything. He wanted to destroy all of that and build America from the ground up. So they can't have that, right? You got to be off. So, I mean, like I said, whether you did, we have our disagreements with them, but I'm trying to put y'all to this time frame because neither one of us was alive. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Ma was sorry, but that's about it. It's a lie, guys. But none of us was born, right? So nobody knows. So, like I said, these 60s was the most pivotal decade of the country. These 1960s, like so much happened. Yeah, we had the 1860s too, when slavery ended. That was the most detrimental for like us. But as far as the whole country, this was like the biggest thing. Everything changed hands, like all the money. You got to remember, and like also I think in 1970 or 71, we got off the gold standard because we couldn't maintain the gold standard no more because we spent all this money in what's the name? In Vietnam. We spent all our money. So we had to get off the gold standard. Everybody know what the gold standard is? Y'all familiar with the gold standard? I'll break it down real easy. Your determination of how much wealth you have in the country is determined by how much gold you have. So if you got $20 million worth of gold, that's how much wealth your country is. The lesser amount of gold, the less your country is. It was a standard of how much money was per each piece of gold. We got off the gold standard and they just started printing money. That's why you see that in the times of after the 60s, inflation just went crazy because they were no longer had a standard. They couldn't print but so much money. Like another thing too, like people don't know this, but like at the Federal Reserve Bank, they had like burn like ovens. They would put the money in and they would burn the money so they would have to destroy this money so they could print out some new bills. They got off the point, they don't have to do that no more because now everything is digital. You ain't even got to do the cash no more. Now you got $1,000 in your account. They ain't got to do nothing. All right. So they got up the gold standard and it really got accelerated in the time of, the last 20 years. It really got bad. They just started printing it out like it's nothing, really. You know what I'm saying? So if you see, go to the next one, the war continued. You get that part?
All right, yes.
All right.
War continued from 1968 to 1975. 7 years of continued conflict, 21,000 plus additional U.S. deaths, 1 million plus Vietnamese lives lost. Quote unquote, the war in Vietnam is but a symptom of a far deeper malady within the American spirit, quote unquote, Martin Luther King Jr., 1967. So he's still speaking out all the way up to his demise.
Mm-hmm. Go to the next one.
April the 10th, 1968, the Fair Housing Act, Civil Rights Act of 1968, legislation by fire, 1967 to 1966 to 1967. The bill is filibustered and blocked by Congress. Dead on arrival. April the 4th, King is assassinated. Riots erupt across America. April the 10th, just 6 days later, LBJ signs the bill into law.
So now, as they had a lot of growing, a lot of growing infight, things going on. They had all this, inner battles and wars about all of this. So now they just say, we're going to appease them and give them something. We don't want to give them the $30 billion. Oh no, we got to put that to Vietnam. They got to go there. Let's give them a little bit of fair housing, which I can see if I could get, because it's a little bit deeper than what they always say. Everything is way more deeper, because whenever they give you something like that, it's for a reason. They're trying to buy black people. That's one of the reasons. They are trying to buy you. That's what they say. What the scriptures say. When they say about a gift.
A gift destroys the heart.
There you go. Destroy your heart. They give you a little bit, but they take a lot more. You understand? They destroy your whole heart, because now you feel like you got the fair housing. Now we good. But no, he was trying to redistribute wealth. So, but we just now we just allowed to live in the ghetto now. That's all it is. He just did redlining all over. All right. But yeah, they said the smoke from the burning buildings was drifting over the Capitol. Congress didn't pass it for King. They passed it to save the cities. They wanted to save their own land. They because black people was pissed off. Because remember we talked about the last time I talked that RFK was the only person that calmed black people down when he talked about, he had that speech in Indianapolis, because he got the message that he was speaking that day. The MLK got killed, and he got the message said, "Yo, it's not the time for this type of thing." And Indianapolis was the only major city that black people was in that didn't riot. And you know what happened later on that year? He got killed. Because he was determined to find out why his brother was killed. He wanted to find out why MLK was. He was going to try to disrupt the whole thing, and all of a sudden he catch a bullet, right? Another magic bullet. He gets shot by somebody 2 feet in front of him. He got 8 bullets in his gun. 13 bullets were found, and he got shot going up like this. The guy's right in front of him, 2 feet in front of him. He gets shot on his side going up, like in the up direction. These magic bullets, man, I don't understand it. I ain't never seen bullets happen like this unless somebody getting assassinated. I ain't never seen bullets made this way. You know what I mean? If y'all know me, I like guns. I ain't never seen bullets do this. All right. All right, let's got the next one. And the water for that food says you breaking my concentration, because I'm smelling it right now as I'm speaking, and it's like, man, I keep thinking about it, but it's a lot. Go ahead. You too.
All right, the bitter irony of how do you pronounce that word?
Posthumous victory. Mm-hmm.
Our blood price 1967 to 1966 to 1967. The stalled bill, the Fair Housing Act, is filibustered and blocked in Congress. Considered quote unquote too radical and quote unquote politically impossible. April the 4th, 1968, the catalyst. King is assassinated. Riots erupt in over 100 American cities. Washington, D.C. burns within sight of the Capitol. April the 11th, 1968, the passage. President Johnson signs the Civil Rights Act of 1968, Fair Housing Act, just days after the assassination. Quote unquote, it seems that in America, the only way to pass the dream is to kill the dreamer.
Yeah. Next one.
It's like it, but look at the picture. They got our scrolls. They got our scrolls. They doing the whole.
Oh yeah, that's some Jewish bastards. Yeah, there's some Jewish bastards right there, sit right next to King.
Wow.
Y'all see that? Holding the scrolls like they about to hold Passover like we do. You know what I'm saying? Holding the scrolls. Yep.
The media's rehabilitation, sanitized for history, what they erased, what they kept. The dreamer, quote unquote, a safe, non-threatening icon of peace. The media froze him in 1963, quote unquote. They celebrate the man who had a dream, but bury the man who had a plan to redistribute wealth and in the war machine.
But look what they erased: opposition to Vietnam War, critique of capitalism, demand for guaranteed income, call for radical deconstruction. Go ahead. Yeah, it's 12. You might have missed it. I barely saw it myself, and it's right in front of me. So
I just didn't know that was supposed to be.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be. You 12 about. All right, let's see here. So, and what they erased, you see the evil of racism, the struggle for civil rights, voting, and integration. Is that the Safe King taught the schools. They taught this to everybody, right? Second, the evil of poverty, his demand for radical redistribution of economic power and guaranteed income for all Americans. So they wanted to make it so that you're going to get a guaranteed amount of income no matter what. You know who has this and healthcare? You're right, but get more specific. Guess who has this? We give them like $30 billion a year. And guess who has this? Israel. Exactly. They get guaranteed income and they get free healthcare. So the stuff they didn't want America to have, we give them money so they can do it for their own citizens. Crazy, right?
Like you, sir. So it's like Martin Luther King gave them the blueprint, but they took that blueprint and gave it to Israel.
I mean, he might have learned it from. He might have found out from going, because remember he had rabbis all on the side of him. He might have found out from them. They might have. I don't know when they started doing it. I haven't looked up that type of information about it, but it could have been either or. It could have been either or. But the point of it is, they get it. By America, they try to tell you that's against capitalism. This is what keeps you free, because you know what I'm saying, you got to pay for everything. This is what keeps you free. Right? So a nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death. All right. Go to the next one, the unanswered questions. The money trail, how did Ray with no savings fund prolonged travel and aliases? The security strip, why was Dr. King's police protection removed the day before? The ballistics gap, the rifle with Ray's prints were never conclusively proven as the murder weapon. The recantation, Ray pleaded guilty, then recanted days later and sought a trial for life. So you see that his protection was removed the day of. Do y'all see these things? Trump, when he got shot at, when he was going against war at the beginning of his campaign, like I said, we hate all these devils, but you got to pay attention to the moves. He was when he said he was for non-war, right? That's what he said, right? They removed the security that day of. He almost caught a bullet. Martin Luther King removed the security the day of, caught a bullet. Malcolm X, they removed the security the day of, caught a bullet. I showed y'all that JFK, when he got killed, they changed the security, and there's actually a video. I forgot to bring it up. It's a video of them calling off his security. It's the Secret Service. They called them off. They waving hands like, "What you doing?" They calling him off. So right before he went into the Daily Plaza, before he got shot. Like I said, I recognize patterns. See what I'm saying? They called off his security that same day. And I might need to do one on Malcolm X. But yeah, it was a person in jail. He had a death confession. Well, he wasn't in jail, it's like he had a death confession that he was told purposefully to arrest and give the people that was on Malcolm X's security detail to give them felonies and lock them up so he would have less security. He wouldn't have door security on the building when they rolled up on him and they shot him with the shotgun. So it just be little things. You just start seeing patterns of behavior. All right. Let's see here. Let me see. Go down to let me see. I'm at the war they oppose. Let me see. Okay. Go to the question we must ask. Let's keep going down. All right, you see the question we must ask. The timing. Why was he killed exactly 1 year to the day after he publicly challenged the Vietnam War? The media term. Why did establishment media, which supported his civil rights work, suddenly declare him a pariah only after he spoke on foreign policy? Because our foreign policy is always ruled by Israel, right? The threat level. Why did the FBI designate him the most dangerous Negro in America? Only after he began organizing the poor to occupy Washington. Was he killed for the dream or was it for the revolution? All right. Let me see here. All right, that's really about it. Just kind of just keep repeating itself. Anybody got any questions at all? Anybody got any questions? Any questions? Is Trooper on there still? You got any questions?
I don't want. Nah, sir.
All right, go ahead, Kotak.
Yes, like when it comes to how we criticize Martin Luther King,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like how does this shape our viewpoint with more detail on what was really going on during that timeline? You know.
Okay.
From our perspective, knowing that he was still pushing a different agenda after he realized he was walking us into a burning house.
Okay. This is how I look at it. All right. I don't like this. Just me personally. All right. Y'all know the story of the MLK that rode up on David. That rode up on David when he talked about how he killed when he killed Saul at the end. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. I'm gonna go over that real quick and I'm gonna try to end it. All right, let's see. 2 Samuel 1. All right, let's go to 2 Samuel 1. Well, AI is beautiful, man. KJV. 2 Samuel chapter 1. All right. You can go to the first one.
Book of 2 Samuel, chapter 1, and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag.
So he had destroyed, because Saul, he didn't destroy the Amalekites, right? He's let them stay. He let them stay. Well, he didn't kill all of them. Like, he kept a lot of their good things, right? And you see it even in the book of Esther. We're gonna talk about in the Feast of Purim. We're gonna talk about what happened, because the person he didn't kill was Agag. That person, his descendant, was a person that tried to kill the Israelites in the time of Esther. There was a reason why the Most High wanted these devils dead. And Amalek, and guess what Amalek is? Amalek is today the Jewish person. That's who he descended from. All right, let's go ahead.
So verse 2.
But you can read a little fast. We got to go through this because I got to end it.
Okay.
So.
And it came even to pass on the third day that, behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And his soul was, when he came to David, that he fell to the earth and did
obeisance. Yep. Go ahead.
Verse 3, and David said unto him, from whence comest thou? And he said unto him, out of the camp of Israel am I escaped.
So basically, some man just came out of here, out this war-torn place that just happened, right? He just came out of here, out of that place. He had his clothes rent, because that's what we did. We would rent means tear. You would tear your clothes. You would put dirt on your head when you're going through mourning after like deaths and war-torn areas. That was like Israelite custom. Let's keep going.
Verse 4, and David said unto him, how went that matter? I pray thee, tell me. And he answered, that the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people also are fallen and dead, and Saul and Jonathan his son are dead also.
So then now he was okay. What happened? So he said all these people, a lot of people fled, and a lot of them was dead. He told him Jonathan and Saul is gone too. Jonathan, that was his main man. That was him and Jonathan was tight. Right, and go ahead.
And David said unto the young man that told him, how knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead?
Keep going.
And the young man that told him said, as I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and the horsemen followed hard after him.
So he said he saw it. He leaned on the spear. He fell on the sword because he wouldn't basically committed suicide, right? So the chariots and they all did the same thing. Keep going.
And when he looked behind him, he saw me and called unto me, and I answered, here I am. And he said unto me, who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. He said unto me again, stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me.
Yeah, he wanted he's a pain. You just fell on your sword, right? And he's still leaning on the sword like this. So you imagine the pain you in. You ain't dead yet. He wanted to be dead. That's why he fell on the sword. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You still going through this pain. He said, I got anguish. I'm trying to be gone. So go ahead.
So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head and the bracelet that was on his arm, and have brought him hither unto Michael. So
then he took all, his crown, all that, and he went and gave it to David, right? Go ahead.
Then David took hold of his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him.
So he ripped his clothes too, just like he was, because going through this trauma. Go ahead.
And they mourned and wept and fasted until even for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword.
Yep. So now they all wept and mourned and fasted, right? This is a big thing. They depressed, like they going and fighting somewhere else, and they home is getting destroyed, right? Keep going.
And David said unto the young man that told him, whence art thou? And he answered, I am the stranger. I am the son of a stranger in Amalek. And David said unto him, how wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, go near and fall upon him. And he smote him, and he died.
So y'all see what's happening. He said, how was you not afraid to touch the Most High anointed? You should have fear. As soon as when he said that, you should have been scared to death. You understand what I'm saying? He said, how you not have fear? And so he said, yo, go kill this nigga. And he killed him right then and there, right? Go ahead.
And David said unto him, the blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth hath testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. And then
he said, the blood is on your head, but you have testified against yourself. But you have, I have slain the Lord's anointed. So to me, when I think of Martin Luther King, even though he was a bastard, he was ours. He was our bastard. Them devils shouldn't have touched him. That's the way I look at it. Understand what I'm saying? If we want him dead, let us take him out. Let us get rid of him. Don't let a white man shouldn't have came nowhere near him. That man needs to be dead. The man that killed him. So that's my opinion. All right. You understand that? That's one of my favorite stories. They say the Bible is full of like sissy stuff, but the Bible hardcore. You know what I mean? This is gangster right here. All right. Any questions? Everybody good? Everybody too wild? All right. With that, what you got?
We kept skipping 1969. What happened in 1969?
You said what?
Kept skipping 1969.
Oh yeah, 1969. ISUPK was born. You know what I mean? That's when ISUPK came in 1969. Like I said, the 1960s was a very big turning point on the country. You understand? So, all right. With that, I pass class over to Priest and Officer Mawasar. All right, wrap it up. All right, y'all turn the camera to him. You get situated.
ISUPK security announcements. Regarding ISUPK, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Look for a new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are homeless for 6 months. They have to be saluted only. They have to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tied to the commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'asra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you gets the president, partner, or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation is the Feast of Purim. That'll be February.
Well, that was March.
26th.
March
2nd. I think it was March 2nd and 3rd. I think it was March 2nd and 3rd. I think you looking at the right one. Might be at the end of that one. A lot of times they do it by the end because our New Year is Passover.
Right. So Latvia. That'll be Monday and Tuesday, the 2nd and 3rd of March 2026. That's right.
There you go.
Remind Akim and Akwat to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. And with that, give one courtesy salute to the men of Israel. Men of Israel, Ahmad. Ahmad Shabbat. Ahmad. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakathon.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakathon.
And we said, we'll translate from Hebrew to English. It's Lord bless you in the name of Christ. Down the top, hands down. Stars, which means turn to the sisters of Majim. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat. Ahmad. Barak. Yahweh
Hashem Yahushua.
Hashem.
No, you want to run Yahweh Shamar.
Yahweh Shamar. Alpham. Hashem. Yahweh Shai. And we said translated from Hebrew to English. The Lord watch over you in the name of Christ. You have on the top, hands down, clap.
Now I can eat this food I've been smelling this whole time.
You want us to screen that for you? Or you guys good? You guys are gonna take up? Here's the line. Yeah. I know.
So I'm gonna try.